Welcome to the stream, zombies. Let's get it. In a world. Alright, what up, fam? Yeah, the lighting's kind of crazy. But long awaited stream. It is in fact called Zombies. That's correct. So if you want to donate to the stream, the link's in the description and right there. Ko-fi.com/Witsit. It'll pop up and notify me that you donated. It'll pop up in the chat, and then I'll run through them periodically throughout the stream. Because, of course, we did get demonetized on YouTube. You can also sign up to subscribe there monthly, and we will be revealing the new Misfits community soon. Very cool, very cool. All right. Also, if you think you have some applicable information, video, or something, and it needs to be like actually applicable, you can drop it in my Telegram during the stream. I'll check it. t.me/miswits. Drop in the Miswits chat and at me or hashtag zombies so I can find it. And yeah, if it's applicable, we'll pop it up. Also, of course, a large portion of this stream will be on Rokfin and Rumble only, because we're not going to be able to talk about everything here on YouTube. We are going to talk about a decent amount, but we're going to move it over to Rokfin and Rumble. So go ahead and prep for that. If you haven't signed up at Rokfin or whatever, you just quickly make an account. It's free. Everything is set to free. The links to the description are in the description to both those things. So you got Rokfin and Rumble. It says watch the rest of the stream uncensored at Rokfin and Rumble. It's got the streams right, or the links right there in the description. So you definitely want to be ready for when we move over, because that's when it really all ties together. And yeah, Obviously, disclaimer here, I know that the title sounds crazy, almost funny. It's like it's facetious. Just wait till the end of this stream. I will also say I am not big on fear porn. I do not suggest that anyone get scared and live in fear or anything like that. At the same time, I don't suggest people putting their head in the sand and ignoring things because it may be uncomfortable. I'm saying this, I'm spreading this truth because it seems to slip right past everyone and it was swept right under the rug, and people may not really notice how nefarious certain actions can be. So I'm trying to spread awareness so that people can prepare for it. And in fact, I think there are many things you can do to overcome this possibility. And we will get into that more so again when we move off of YouTube. So there's that. Thank you guys for kicking it and for showing up. I'm also going to come over here. I think I just saw my boy Run Boston Bear pop up. So we'll check the donations right now and then we're going to get into it. But truth is stranger than fiction, man. And so whenever you see a stream called Zombies, it sounds crazy and you're like, wow, this is ridiculous. And people can then gaslight you or whatever. Let's see what they have to say in just a second because this is a rabbit hole. Bat Dad, thank you for signing up for the Miswits, the water tier. Welcome to the Miswits. And Daniel Sand signed up for the Ether tier. Legend, welcome to the Miswits. Signed up for Ether. And like I said, I will be revealing the new community with all the perks. And obviously, there will be tier-specific perks. So thank you, brother, for signing up for Ether. Very cool. And then Run Boston Bear, prepayment for all the income and gravy. Thanks for the hard work you put into this. Thank you, brother, and I appreciate the generous $50 tip, bro. Run Boston Bear, obviously a legend. Thank you so much, man. And this is going to be an interesting show for sure. So I want to be really careful because I don't want the show to get taken down. So like I said, just go ahead and prepare to move over. Wow, I didn't even know that was the thing. But anyway. Prepare yourself to move over. Someone may have signed up for Patreon. Same thing goes for Patreon. We're going to bring everyone, locals, Patreon, Ko-fi, everyone's going to be brought together. Sign up with the right email. Check your emails. I'll reach out to everyone, and we're going to get everyone brought together into the Misfits little community. So, cool. All right. Let's just jump into it. It's crazy. So, we'll start by playing this. And like I said, there's only so much I can say. So I will just say health is very important. Watch what you put into your body. And we're going to discuss some possibilities that would seem far-fetched prior to the stream. So I'm going to start. And like I said, I'll have to pull it all together. I just don't want to leave YouTube completely hanging. So I want to put some gravy in here. We're going to watch this video by MIT, and it is about something called optogenetics. And this is a very real thing. This video is 12 years old. Shout out to everyone donating. I'm going to catch up with you guys. So we'll watch this video. It's 4.5 minutes, and then I'll check back up with the subs and the donations. All right, let's just go ahead and get right into the video. I think this is the right scene. I changed the OBS scene just for the zombie theme. Here, let's pop over here. All right, cool. In a world. Wait, if I gotta find it. Copy. Yeah, so optogenetics is something that sounds like it's out of a sci-fi movie or something. But just wait till you hear about this and you're going to start to put the pieces together probably and understand that I will bring it all together once we pop off of YouTube. And that's what cool. We all donate the same place the whole time. Screw YouTube demonetizing me, they can kick rocks. All right, cool. Let's cue it up. You guys let me know that everything sounds good. Give me feedback on the audio, etc. Let's go.
have shown that the brain is an
You may just now be hearing it, but anyway, let me know if it's loud enough.
the human.
Someone said, will you be on Rumble? Yes. Donation overlay needs to be brought up. It will be on Rumble and Rokfin, so both of the links are in the description. Right in the top of the description, it says finish the stream uncensored on Rokfin or Rumble. It's got both links. All right, give me audio feedback.
The human brain may not look like much, a couple of pounds of pink, wrinkled tissue, but the last 100 years of neuroscience have shown that the brain is an incredibly densely wired computer made out of hundreds of billions of individual cells called neurons. Neurons communicate with each other using both chemical and electrical signals. When a neuron is activated by chemical messengers, it produces an electrical pulse that results in similar chemical signals being sent to other neurons to which it is connected. Neurons come in thousands, perhaps tens of thousands of different kinds.
Yeah, it's low for me as well, so just know it's turned all the way up. The rest of the videos will be better, so I just won't interrupt the video. I'm going to just turn it all the way up on your end, and then know you want to turn it down a little bit when I come back. Everything is turned all the way up, but I wanted to play this video because it makes a point. This video was posted 12 years ago. Keep that in mind.
Each with a unique shape, a distinct molecular composition, and a unique pattern of connections within the brain. For example, these cells, the basket cells, have small input branches and output branches, and they release pulses of chemical that inhibit their targets. Whereas these cells, the pyramidal cells, are large and project long distances, and they excite the cells that they target. If we could figure out the role that each of these cell types plays in the brain, we could understand how they work together to create thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and how flaws in specific cell types may lead to devastating brain disorders like schizophrenia, Parkinson's, and depression. Now, MIT researchers are working to develop tools that allow us to do exactly that. It is now possible to precisely control the activity of specific neurons, and therefore understand how each neuron contributes to brain function. Remarkably, these high-tech tools have come from microorganisms, such as this pond algae called Chlamydomonas. Chlamydomonas needs light for photosynthesis, and it swims toward light with the help of a small organelle called an eye spot. The eye spot contains a light-sensitive protein called channel rhodopsin, which responds to blue light by moving positively charged ions across the eye spot membrane, causing the voltage of the eye spot to change, a bit like a battery being charged by a solar cell. But neurons are also electrical devices, and their voltage would also change if channel rhodopsin could be inserted into their membranes and then illuminated. So, researchers took a piece of DNA that encodes for the channel rhodopsin protein. Then, they put it into neurons using a safe
Alright, took a piece of what?
and effective method for delivering a gene. Then, they put it into neurons using a safe and effective method for delivering a gene, the same kind being used in human gene therapy trials. The neurons expressed the DNA, manufacturing copies of the channel rhodopsin protein and installing them in their membranes. As predicted, the researchers were now able to activate these neurons using light, without affecting any of the neighboring neurons. This technique, called optogenetics, allows researchers to drive the activity of specific neuron types to see how they affect brain activity and behavior. For example, researchers can deliver the piece of DNA that encodes for channel rhodopsin into a set of basket cells, shown here in green. Then pulses of blue light activate only the basket cells, while the other cells, for example the neighboring pyramidal cells, are not affected. So, if a specific brain disorder is associated with dysfunctional basket cells, it would be possible to augment the activity of these cells and possibly repair brain function. And these tools don't just activate neurons, they can silence them as well. Archirhodopsin and halorhodopsin, for example, are proteins that are sensitive to orange light and produce the opposite effect to channel rhodopsin. When researchers deliver DNA that encodes for one of these molecules into a specific set of cells and shine orange light within the brain, they can turn off just the selected set of cells. By combining these tools, along with others now being developed, researchers will be able to control brain activity with a degree of precision that would have been unimaginable a few years ago.
Okay, I'm gonna fix the sound here, but okay, so what's interesting, and I stopped right there because we got another video I want to watch real quick. It's way less boring, okay, and the audio should be better on it as well. But if you listen carefully, it is there is a photosynthetic compound found in a certain type of algae. You can take this and you can integrate it into the body. And since it's photosynthetic and photosensitive, right, its sensitivity to light allows you to manipulate it. And since you're integrating it into the brain, you can effectively turn on and off certain neurons or sections of the brain. Okay? So it's kind of like sci-fi movie here. Someone can use light, different spectrums of light, to turn off portions of your brain. This is 12 years ago. Now we're going to watch the next one. This one's going to be much louder, so everyone should be good. Watch this one. This stream is going to get crazy, so stick it out. Kind of just go ahead and plan to be listening to some info for the next couple hours. You definitely want to stick around once we move. And again, everyone prep. We're going to have to leave here because this is not a free speech platform. To be able to actually ladle the gravy and draw it all together, you're going to have to leave the platform. So just do it. Just do it. All right, let's keep going. This video is from 10 years ago, MIT.
The brain is made of maybe thousands of different kinds of cells called neurons that are built into very dense intermeshed networks that communicate. Each of these neurons computes using electricity. This cycle implements behavior and thought and emotion, all these different kinds of things. We also think that deficits in these electrical computations underlie many brain disorders that affect over 1 billion people around the world. In optogenetics, what we're doing is we're putting molecules that convert light into electricity into neurons, the cells of the brain. Then when we shine light on those neurons, light gets converted to electricity and allows us to turn on or off those cells. The goal here is to find a way to control the electrical activity in some cells and not others in the network. To do that, we had to turn to the natural world. It turns out that throughout all the kingdoms of life, in plants and funguses and bacteria and so on, you can find photosynthetic or photosensory molecules that convert light into electricity. So we borrowed these molecules from nature, and then using tricks from the field of gene therapy, we can put them into neurons. Now, these molecules can convert light to electricity, and they do it just in the neurons that we want to control, and not all their neighbors. So we can deliver these molecules to some cells and not others, and then when we shine light on the network, we can turn on or off that subset of the cells. If we can turn on or off a set of cells that's embedded within this dense matrix, we can figure out how do they contribute to a behavior. For example, if we can turn on a set of cells, we can figure out what kinds of behaviors can it initiate. If we can turn off a set of cells, then we can delete it momentarily and figure out what it's necessary for. So by being able to dial in information into cells in the brain and to delete them, we can try to figure out how they contribute to networks and the behaviors and diseases that arise from brain computations. We can hunt down the exact set of cells that are contributing to a specific disease state, or which when activated or shut down will remedy that disease state. That's really important because right now a lot of drugs are developed that target molecules. But molecules are found throughout the brain, and in fact many cells in the brain might be very molecularly similar to one another. If we can target circuits in the brain though, we might be able to develop much more specific drugs. Imagine if we could hunt down the exact set of cells in the brain that when activated remedy a brain disorder, and then we can go in and look at the exact molecules in those cells. Maybe we can find drug targets that are much more specific than existing ones. You might also imagine that we could use optogenetics to directly control brain circuits in patients with brain disorders. Electricity is used to stimulate the brain in deep brain stimulation. If instead we could actually aim light at certain cells and turn them on or off, we might be much more specific. Rather than...
You know what your body naturally produces? Light and electricity.
Electricity is used to stimulate the brain in deep brain stimulation. If instead we could actually aim light at certain cells and turn them on or off, we might be much more specific. Rather than using electricity to turn on and off the cells of the brain and have many kinds of cells activated, the ones we want to affect as well as all their neighbors, if we could make just one disease-associated subset associated with light and we can turn them on or off, we might be able to treat them with much more specificity. So far, optogenetics has had a lot of
I really listened to this part.
light, and we can turn them on or off, we might be able to treat them with much more specificity. So far, optogenetics has had a lot of impact in the scientific world, but it hasn't been used in any human patients yet. There are a couple reasons why. One is that it requires a gene therapy to deliver the gene that encodes for these light-activated molecules into the body. Currently in the US, there are no FDA-approved gene therapies for these There are a couple reasons why. One is that it requires a gene therapy to deliver the gene that encodes for these light-activated molecules into the body. Currently in the US, there are no FDA-approved gene therapies. Reasons why. One is that it requires a gene therapy to deliver the gene that encodes for these light-activated molecules into the body. Currently in the US, there are no FDA-approved gene therapies. In Europe, there's just one. Another issue is that these molecules come from organisms like algae and bacteria. And so if we are putting these molecules into the body, would they be detected as foreign agents and attacked by the immune system, for example? What we need is a paradigm shift in how we think about treating brain disorders. And one of our major stances is that we need new technologies if we really want to either understand the principles of treating brain disorders, hunting down the exact cells in the brain that can help us treat brain disorders, or to develop new modalities, new forms of energy, new strategies for treating brain disorders by correcting the computations within the brain.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to remember. This is a brand new scene. Okay, so if you heard that, one of the reasons why 10 years ago that this had not been utilized a lot is because why? Because it requires gene therapy and there's not any FDA approved gene therapy. That's why it hasn't been used on humans. Now, if you also heard, it's like, well, if you just use electrical signals, then it's hard to really isolate where you're going to control. Makes sense, right? Like all the neurons, all the brain cells are affected by electricity. If you just start sending electrical signals out there, well, it's going to affect all of them. But if you use highly precise integration methods to allow this photosensitive chemical to integrate into specific cells, then when you introduce light, it will only affect those cells. So they'll be able to much more precisely control brain activity. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you that many years ago, they started testing this out on mice, and they were able to turn mice into super killers. So if you Google optogenetics, super killers, right, or mice, you'll get the papers, you'll get the videos. They were able to make the mice run way faster than they normally could, become erratic and aggressive, and search out prey they would try to kill on command. So it's mind control. Now, it's not like I can make them think about this. It's more that they can control the behavior. They can create targets, and they can create aggressive, erratic behavior using optogenetics. Now, the cover story is, of course, that they're able to find out what's going on with different brain diseases, and they can isolate it, learn more about them, learn which brain cells are being affected when, et cetera, et cetera. Keep all of that in mind. Obviously, the major trigger word should have jumped out of the page at you. I made it pretty clear, right? I made it a point that you knew. Okay, that's going to become very relevant here soon. Let me catch up on the Dizzy donations. All right, so just so everyone knows, if you go to ko-fi.com/Witsit, it's on the screen and links in the description. You can sign up for a subscription, links in the description. And you have water, fire, earth, air, ether are the 5 things. Okay, so Felix 4. Thank you for signing up for the Earth membership. Brother, welcome to the Miswits. Screw YouTube. Miswits doesn't need YouTube. Bronx Bombers 1302. Thank you for signing up for Fire. Welcome to the Miswits. A lot of cool stuff coming for you guys. Trust me, it's going to be cool. And then this says Ko-fi supporter. I guess you didn't put anything in, but thank you for the $5 tip. Glinda Safkin, love the gravy, Austin. Awesome. Thank you for the $20 tip. And just wait, it's going to get pretty wild. Curious One, thank you for all you do. Thank you for the tip. And no problem. Yeah, it's what I'm supposed to do. Phantom 369, thank you for the $10 tip. Becoming a Miswit. Welcome to the fire. Welcome to the Miswits. Uncle Giblets, legend. Thank you so much. Very generous, bro. Thank you. $120 tip, man. Thank you so much. And for the kind words, brother. Much love. Very generous. I'm not going to let you down. Just check the stream out. It's wild. Justin Johnson, a longtime supporter of the channel. Thank you so much for the $20 tip, brother. Much love. You're the man. And then Cheese and Rice, welcome to the water tier. Welcome to the Miswits. All right, thank you guys for the support. Much love. All right. So, pretty basic stuff there, right? Now, as to what does this have to do with zombies, right? Is that just a clickbait title? Like, no, I actually don't consider it a clickbait title. So I have to be very careful with what we're going to cover here and just prepare to move over here soon. But I think I've got it laid out in such a way that we'll be okay as long as I don't show the wrong screens. Okay, so let's come over here. Okay, now, you may have heard of this before, but this is FEMA's Prepare for Zombie Apocalypse. So FEMA's disaster preparedness site has released an urgent PSA about an impending threat at the end of October. Experts and terrorism officials confirm that the group, which has possible Greek and Haitian origins, plans to take advantage of a loophole in space-time continuum. So they make it like this facetious joke, right? Which will allow previously deceased citizens to roam the U.S. searching for cerebral matter. So it's like, the idea is, well, they just made this fictional, funny story so that people would be interested in being prepared. Now, of course, if you're familiar with predictive programming, you would be like, well, that's pretty interesting. So anyway, FEMA says prepare for zombie apocalypse. Interesting, could just be a joke, right? So I've been telling a lot of people around Discord and stuff, kind of laying a bunch of this out to them, and I'm going to break it down with all the evidence tonight. And people act like I'm crazy, of course. And now they're spreading the story in the mainstream news that there's a new zombie deer disease, and the epidemic spreads in Yellowstone. And that's, of course, owned by the federal government. As scientists raise fears it may jump to humans. And as you can see, it's all in the news. And even yesterday, it was in the news again. But about a month ago, all the news hit us with the same story. Zombie deer disease could move and spread to humans, and it was found in Yellowstone, right? So, and what happens is the deer just like looks like it's dead, but still walking, loses functionality and body control, and just starts walking in circles and looks ridiculous. Okay. Here's another quote-unquote joke. This is Amazon's terms of service, and supposedly it's about like some video game or something like that. Clause 5710. This did in fact used to be in their terms of service. Quote, this restriction will not apply in the event of the occurrence certified by the United States Center for Disease Control or successor body of a widespread viral infection transmitted via bites or contact with bodily fluids that causes human corpses to reanimate and seek to consume living human flesh, blood, brain, or nerve tissue, and is likely to result in the fall of organized civilization. Okay, again, cover story. It's about a video game. It's just kind of a joke, and they decided to put it in their terms of service as a joke, you know. Totally legit. Now, I think I can cover some of this, and then we're going to have to move over. Okay? But there's something called a body area network, also referred to as a wireless body area network, or WBAN. Okay? A body sensor network, or medical body area network, is a wireless network of wearable computing devices. Band devices may be embedded inside the body as implants or pills. Interesting. So what we're going to do now is we're going to watch another video real quick. And we're about to have to leave. We're about to have to leave. You should be able to see, obviously, why we're going to have to leave. But it is very important. All right, let's watch this video.
Hello. I am Azad, and today I will be telling you about the wireless body area network and how it applies to the Internet of Things. First of all, let me give a brief definition of the wireless body area network. Wireless body area network is a short-range wireless network of wearable computing devices. Wireless body area network devices may be embedded inside the body as implants, may be surface-mounted on the body in a fixed position, or may be accompanied devices that humans can carry in different positions, such as in closed pockets, by hand, or in various bags.
All right, keep in mind, this is like this mainstream version of what they're trying to tell you it is. We're about to look through all what it really is, but this is to give you an idea of what they at least are trying to say it is. This is just like with the optogenetics. Oh, it's just to help cure brain diseases. Like, yeah, sure it is, right?
If we talk in the context of the Internet of Things, these implanted sensors and wearable devices are the things from the Internet of Things, whereas wireless body area network is the glue holding these implanted sensors and wearable devices together. The wireless body area networks can be described as an extension of wide area networks to personal space. The wireless body area networks can be further categorized as 1. In-body communications, that occur between two or more devices inside a human body. This communication is mostly between implanted medical sensors.
I'm sorry, this is pretty unbearable. Someone says, so it's a Rokfin type of night. Yeah, that's correct. Now, let's see. Now, all you guys have heard of this, I'm sure, right? But this is back in the day. It was patented in 2020, which it needed to be to give you the right number. 6,600. Okay. Human body activity associated with the task provided to a user may be used in a mining process of a cryptocurrency system. A server may provide a task to a device of a user which is communicatively coupled to the server. A sensor communicatively coupled to or compromised in the device of the user may sense body activity of the user. Body activity data may be generated based on the sensed body activity of the user. The cryptocurrency system communicatively coupled to the device of the user may verify if the body activity data satisfies one or more conditions set by the cryptocurrency system and award cryptocurrency to the user whose body activity data is verified. So this is a Microsoft patent 060606. Almost everyone here has seen this. Patented in 2020 about basically a biosensor device in and or on a user that monitors body activity and it rewards compliance. All the text not properly centered? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Because all of them are it doesn't matter. I read it, you guys get it. Okay. So let's just do this right here. Let's come back over here. All right, I'm going to see how I can tactically say this, and we're just going to have to move over. So everyone go ahead and prepare to move over. We got 450 here. Hopefully there's already some on Rokfin and Rumble. We got 167 on Rumble, 118 on Rokfin. Nice. Everyone just prep. We're going to have to leave, okay? It's just the way that it is. I can't really start to break all this down until we leave here. But you don't want to miss what the importance of the stream. But what did we cover here? There's some very interesting technology in the world. There's something called optogenetics, which is nothing really brand new, but it was held back by certain laws because of, moral issues of controlling your brain. So mind control, right? And again, you take algae, a specific type of algae, you integrate that photosensitive chemical into the brain. It bypasses the blood-brain barrier using gene therapy, then it integrates in, and you can actually introduce light and control the brain by turning on and off certain things. We've briefly covered that there's this goal or aim, right? It's just theoretical, right? Where you can actually implant certain devices and it can network. It begins to network to different people, to different things, to different towers, to different internet systems, to different cryptocurrency systems, and you can wirelessly monitor body activity to such an extent that you can reward the user for compliant body activity. Rokfin.com/WitsitGetsIt, Rumble.com/WitsitGetsIt. Rokfin and Rumble links are in the chat. If some of the mods can help me out and drop the Rokfin and the Rumble. Okay, so now I will say this, right? EMF is unavoidable. I'm going to reiterate this. I'm not trying to tell everyone to be scared or to freak out, but there is obviously a recent event that makes this information very important. Okay? I specifically don't think that everyday devices, everyday EMF is the end of the world and is going to kill you or anything like that. But what we can say here is what's very interesting is there seems to be this running joke about zombies, and that goes from FEMA, that goes from CDC. And actually, I'll show you guys that real fast. So this is the CDC, Preparedness 101 Zombie Pandemic. Again, the cover story for this is also that it's just a joke. Now, this used to be an entire website in depth talking about a zombie pandemic. Since then, they've changed it to just a comic book. They've taken down the website, but it was up for years. Okay, and it's just entertainment to get people excited about being prepared and being healthy. And so it's just entertainment because zombies are exciting. Okay, but this is the CDC talking about zombie preparedness. And of course, we also have FEMA. And then here is a systematic review of biocyber interface technologies and security issues for Internet of Bio-Nano Things. We'll read a little bit of this and we're going to move over. So everyone just go ahead and start moving over to Rokfin and Rumble. Advances in synthetic biology and nanotechnology have contributed to the design of tools that can be used to control, reuse, modify, or re-engineer cell structure, as well as enabling engineers to effectively use biological cells as programmable substrates to realize bio-nanothings, biological embedded computing devices. Bio-nanothings are generally tiny, non-intrusive, and concealable devices that can be used for in vivo applications such as intra-body sensing and actuation networks, where the use of artificial devices can be detrimental. Such nanoscale devices can be used in various healthcare settings such as continuous health monitoring, targeted drug delivery, and nanosurgeries. These services can also be grouped to form a collaborative network, i.e. a nano network, whose performance can potentially be improved when connected to higher bandwidth external networks such as the internet, say via 5G. However, to realize the Internet of Bio-Nanotech paradigm, it is also important to seamlessly connect the biological environment with the technological landscape by having a dynamic interface designed to convert biochemical signals from the human body into an equivalent electromagnetic signal, and vice versa. This, unfortunately, risks the exposure of internal biological mechanisms to cyber-based sensing and medical actuation with potential security and privacy implications. This paper comprehensively reviews biocyber interface for IOBNT architecture, focusing on biocyber interfacing options for IOBNT like biologically inspired bioelectronic devices, RFID-enabled implantable chips, and electronic tattoos. This study also identifies known and potential security and privacy vulnerabilities and mitigation strategies for consideration in future IOBNT designs and implementations. Now, if you go to the t.me/Witsit streams, after the stream, we're dropping all the links. We'll drop all the PDFs, all the links in the Telegram. You can get all of the actual data. Okay, so we're going to move over because I can't really even tie it all together, and I didn't really know how I was even going to try to do it, and I just simply can't do it. Okay, but let's just say it was a very interesting, 3-4 years going back in time, and it does seem like we were conditioned for quite a bit of things. And if you keep up with the World Economic Forum, etc., they seem to suggest that it's not over. That was just the first step. And we can't say too much more. So anyway, thank you guys for kicking it. I encourage everyone to move over to Rokfin or Rumble, because we're going to talk about how this is actually applicable to our lives right now, the science behind it, how we maybe not only were conditioned with an immense amount of propaganda regarding zombies to where, like, the most popular game in the world was Call of Duty, and everyone played the zombies. Zombies everywhere, Walking Dead, all kinds of zombie movies. Yes, it's entertaining, sure. World War Z, what was World War Z about? Either way, we have been inundated with the idea of our loved ones and people around us being zombies. And it sounds crazy, and what are the characteristics of zombies, right? Like, seemingly they're dying. So either A, they're like dead and they come back to life, or B, they're like dying and they're barely alive. They're out of it. They can't really see and hear and talk and understand things, and then they're very slow. And they don't recognize you, and they are erratic and aggressive and want to attack you and want to bite you and all this crazy science fiction stuff, right? You know, all this crazy science fiction stuff. They're like corroding and when they're standing up, blah, blah. So we're going to see, why would I title the stream that, right? What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with optogenetics? What does that have to do with, jump on over, we're going to get out of here. So shout out to the people that did come on YouTube. Unfortunately, I just can't even really convey to you any of the legitimate information. And I started to realize this is actually just holding back the stream. So unfortunately, I can't take the chance. I've already been demonetized recently, and all I do is talk about cosmology. But I do encourage, if you or any loved ones participated in the extracurricular events that you may or may not regret in the last few years, if you're interested in figuring out some of the specific information about maybe what that means, maybe how to react, how to tell your loved ones to, whatever, we're going to cover a lot of that in the rest of the stream. So, all right, thank you guys for kicking it. I'm going to try to make sure that I know how to end it. And yeah, so what we'll do is I'll press the be right back scene, and then it'll be like maybe 30 seconds. Make sure everything is completely off so I take no chances. So just bear with me for 30 seconds. Everyone migrate over for the next 30 seconds, and then we will be on Rokfin and Rumble exclusively. Let me double check the streams here. All right, Rokfin. Let's see. Rumble's working good. And Rokfin's working good. So we're good on both those platforms. We should be good. All right. Telling others to go to other platform, maybe. No, it's not. That doesn't make any sense. So we're going to go to where we can freely speak about information. And unfortunately, that is not this location. That decided to demonetize me because they're anti-Semitic. Because I just talk about Hebrew cosmology. So clearly, it's just the guys for anti-Semitic censorship. And that's why they came at me. Because they don't like that I talk about Hebrew cosmology. All right. So I love you guys. Pop on over. I said it 30 times. We're going to take the 30-minute intermission as I switch the scenes and make sure that YouTube is cut. We're going to go from there. To the YouTube people that refuse to come over, you're being lame. And I'll catch up with you guys soon. And the mods are dropping the links. So, okay. Peace out, YouTube. And we'll be right back for the rest of the stream.